Hey there my friends, it's Robert here with your Angelscopes for the month of August, where we are going to tune in to the angels and pull oracle cards for each of the star signs. So sit down, make yourself nice and comfortable, let's get ready to see what the angels want us to know for each of the star signs for the month of August. Aries, your message is open your arms to receiving. Now, I know you might be independent and you want to do everything on your own. You want to take care of all of those jobs, those responsibilities, all those different tasks, all by yourself. But guess what? You don't have to. Be willing to let other people step in and help you. And maybe, just maybe, you might even ask people to help you. Because, of course, yes, you can do everything on your own, but you don't have to. Allow other people to come in and lift those burdens from your shoulders. So this month, the angels are asking for you to be open to receiving. Be willing to let other people step in and help you, and don't refuse that outside support or assistance. Your angels are also saying to be open to receiving wonderful new things in unexpected ways. So whether that is abundance, healing, or new opportunities, be open to receiving those blessings in unexpected ways. So don't think just because you can't see a clear path in front of you that it's not going to happen. The angels are saying that this is a time where the magic takes place, where wonderful things can evolve right in front of you. And all you have to do is just be open. Open up your arms and let that light and that love flow through. And as you do so, you'll start to see these wonderful miracles in front of you. So instead of pushing things away, instead of saying, no, I can do it all on my own, this month the angels are asking you to please be open to letting other people help you and be open to those wonderful miracles happening in unexpected ways. Taurus, your message is chakra clearing. So this tells me that this month for you is going to be a time of quiet reflection, a time for you to take those moments away from the hustle and bustle of everything else that might be going on, and taking those quiet moments of solitude to go within and to reflect on what's happening around you. Of course, chakra clearing is a wonderful exercise to do every day if you can. Take that much needed time to clear and balance your energy so that you feel clearer, you feel more balanced, you feel more harmonious, and all of your thoughts start to line up in a way that make much more sense. So as you cleanse and balance your chakra system, everything in your life starts to balance. You'll start to feel better within yourself. You'll also start to feel that stronger connection to your angels. So this month, the angels ask for you to take time to meditate, to go within, to do some self-healing and clearing, and you'll find the benefits are tremendous. Because as you take that much needed time for you, everything else benefits from that. So often we think that if we take time for us, we're being selfish, and that we should be doing all these other responsibilities instead. But by you taking that time for yourself, clearing your chakras, connecting into your angels and intuition, that helps so many people. Think about what life would look like if you knew very clearly from your own intuition what you needed to do next, what direction to take, what path to follow. You'd be able to feel that energy so much more strongly because your chakras are so open and balanced. And so that means that those little things that sometimes get in the way aren't such a big deal anymore because you know how to navigate it. So this month, the angels say to focus on you. to take some time for your own spiritual practice and allow yourself to blossom, just like the beautiful lotus blossom, to open yourself up to all that spiritual energy and notice how the ripple effects of change make positive differences in your life. Gemini, the card I was drawn to for you is unity. Now, this card means that you are spiritually and divinely connected to all of the people around you. So think of everyone that you have to interact with, whether they're family members, friends, colleagues, random people at the supermarket, whatever it is, all of those people that you interact with. In those moments, whether it's physically or on the phone or online or any other way that we connect these days, you are forming a connection of energy with those people. And so when we surround ourselves with happy, uplifting, positive people, everything just feels easier. It feels like life is fun. We enjoy ourselves. We have a wonderful time. But if we surround ourselves with people who are constantly complaining, if they're constantly going on about the negatives or the struggles or the challenges, and we spend too much time with too many of those people, it starts to bring our energy down. And if that happens, you start to feel all of those emotions yourself. And it's not necessarily coming from you, it's coming from your surroundings. And so this month, your angels are saying to pay very close attention to the people that you interact with, to the different energies and environments that you surround yourself with. Because the more that we surround ourselves with heavy energies, it weighs us down. But the same is true for positive energy. So when you surround yourself with positive people, positive, uplifting environments, you feel better. So if you've noticed that your energy is starting to dip, if you've noticed that you're not as motivated as you would like to be, look at who you're spending time with. Look at how you're spending your time. And as you start to shift that to more positive and uplifting things, everything starts to lift. So this card is telling you this month that when we surround ourselves with people, we are feeding off of that energy. We are feeding off of those vibrations. And working with those energetic connections, you can also make positive changes. Because maybe there are people that you really care about and that you love that are doing it tough or that they're struggling right now. And it's not saying that you can't spend time with them, but it means that when you do, make sure that the energy is positive that's coming from you to help lift those people up, rather than taking on the energy of them, which is going to make you feel heavy. So this month, you need to pay more attention to the energy around you and make sure you're focused on lifting that spirit up, lifting that vibration. And as you do so, you'll find that wonderful doors of opportunity begin to open. Cancer, your message this month is balanced friendships. So this tells us to pay very close attention to the energy of giving and receiving, and to do our best to make sure that there's always some kind of balance that's happening. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that because a friend does something nice for you, you have to instantly do something nice for them. But it's always good to balance those scales. And sometimes when we do a good deed and we do something nice for a particular person, they might not be in a position to give back to us immediately. But trust that the universe will balance those scales. Trust that the universe and your angels will bring you something that will balance that energy, so that there's always an equal exchange of giving and receiving. So this month, your angels want you to pay close attention to how much we give and how much we receive. Because we should have a relatively equal share of both. Not too much giving where we give everything away so that we run out of energy. And also not just taking and taking and taking so that we're maybe a little too selfish. So we need to have that balance of giving and receiving. And often when this card comes up, it's time for us to do a bit of an inventory check of our friendships and the people that are in our lives. How much energy are we giving to them, and how much are they taking from us? And how much do we actually get back? Because sometimes you might start to notice that you are giving quite a lot to particular people and they give you nothing in return. And so then it's up to you to decide how you want to handle that situation. What dynamic of friendship and connection do you want to continue knowing that information? The angels always want us to find balance and peace. And so if that person is not willing to meet you halfway or sort of pull their own weight and do their share of the heavy lifting, then maybe it's time to take a couple of steps back. It doesn't mean, we disappear somewhere completely, but it does mean that sometimes we need to take a break so that we don't just give too much and run out. So your angels want you to know that it's wonderful to give, but we also need to be open to receiving. And we need to have a balance of giving and receiving so that we don't feel exhausted and drained. Think about the people that you talk to, especially on the phone. It seems like the phone is one of those places where people get away with it the most. But when you talk to that friend on the phone and they've got some kind of drama or some kind of issue, and they tell you about it for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, and then it's now your turn to talk about the stuff that's going on in your life, and they have to leave. They suddenly hang up the phone, or they've got to cook dinner, or something else happens, and you don't get to share your stuff. Notice how many people are in your life that are like that, and maybe you have to make dinner a little bit earlier next time you're on the phone. So this month, pay attention to those friendship connections, those dynamics, and make sure you're receiving just as much as you give out. Leo, your message this month is you are lovable. So this message comes through to remind you that you are created perfectly just the way you are. Please don't feel like you have to change who you are or do something different in order to fit in, to be accepted, or to be more loved. Because God and the angels have created you exactly how you're meant to be right now. I know sometimes we question it, don't we? We go, well, what's the point of this? And why is this happening to me? But at the same time, trust that there's a higher plan in place. Your angels can see much further than what you can right now. And so they know the things that have to go on in your life and in your experience to prepare you for what's coming next. And so the angels say to you that this month, to remember that you are created just the way you're meant to be. So your personality, the things you find entertaining, the way you talk, the way you look, your body, your personality, all of those things that make you who you are, they are exactly the way they're meant to be right now. And it may be for a much greater purpose that you just don't know the reason for. But at the same time, your angels want you to trust who you are. They want you to be who you are. Have that self-confidence and that courage to stand in your power and stand in your light, to be the wonderful person you were created to be. So no more apologizing for who we are. No more putting ourselves in the background. Instead, start to shine. Start to be who you're meant to be here and do the things that your heart calls out to do. The angels remind you that you are lovable and that everything about you is already divinely perfect. And I want you to embrace that feeling. I want you to trust that. And I want you to carry that energy all month long to know that you're exactly who you're meant to be and you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. Virgo, your message this month is stand by your commitment. So this means that whatever it is that's going on around you this month, your angels remind you to stand by those things that you've committed to and that you've called on your own heart to complete. So when this comes up, it often makes me think of this vision of somebody, digging for buried treasure. They're digging for that treasure, they're digging, and there's like this much dirt in between them and the treasure, and they give up. They throw it away, they give up because they think nothing's there. But if they just kept going that tiny little bit more, they would have had the reward. So this message comes through for you this month to say, don't give up before that miracle occurs. Trust in God and the angels to take care of you and to think back throughout your entire life to know that you've always been taken care of. There's always been a way, even in those moments of adversity where you thought things didn't work out the way they were meant to. You can look back on it perhaps now and see a blessing, see a lesson that we learned, and see something powerful that took place that's made you stronger and more committed right now. So this month, stand by your commitment. Do those things that your heart is calling you to do and follow through with it all the way. Don't give up before that magical miracle occurs, and allow the angels to give you that extra strength and support when you need it most. The angels know that sometimes things feel challenging and overwhelming, but that's us missing part of the message. That's us missing the easier way around the obstacle. So in those moments, rather than throwing our hands in the air and feeling frustrated, call on your angels for help. Ask the angels to guide you through it, and they will. They'll help lead you through a path of peace, and they'll bring you those blessings that you've been praying for. Libra, your card this month flew out of the deck. So it is Become the True You. I barely started shuffling and it just popped right out of the deck. So this card tells you that this month is your time to really be who you were born to be. This month I sense you'll be given opportunities to shine your own unique light, to be who you were put here to be in your own special way. It doesn't have to look like everybody else or do things the same as everyone else is doing them, because you are completely unique. You have your own energy, your own vibration, your own goals and dreams and hopes. And all of those things make up who you are. And so as you embrace all of those gifts within you, let them blossom out and show the world who you are. Let people see the real you. Many years ago, I had my office space set up in my home, and I had, my spiritual things there. I had my crystals, I had my angel statues, all that kind of stuff. And it was my little sacred space to create things. But the rest of the house was, normal. And so I had everything sort of hidden in one room. And I sort of suddenly realized, I'm like, why have I done this? Why have I got everything just hidden in my office instead of in the rest of the house? And it was because I guess there was that part of me still, hiding who I was. So rather than doing that, allow yourself to be who you are. If you have spiritual things and you love it, why not have them everywhere? Why not put the things you love everywhere? Why not do the things you love all the time? Why not be who you were born to be every single day? Not just sometimes, but all the time. And so this month, I really feel that you'll be given those chances and those opportunities to be that person, to express yourself in your own unique way, and to make a positive difference to the people around you. So be ready for those opportunities, and when it happens, step into the spotlight. Scorpio, your guidance for the month is laughter. Now, I love when this card comes up because it tells us that it's time to just add more of that fun and joy element into everything that we're doing. So sometimes life gets a little bit too serious. And when that happens, yeah, we might be getting things done, but the fun and the joy starts to deplete. So instead of letting yourself slip into those heavier emotions, your angels are saying that this month is a wonderful time to reconnect with joy, laughter, and happiness, and lift your spirit through loving laughter. So whether that's hanging out with funny friends who always make you smile, whether it's watching something funny on the TV or reading a book that really lifts your spirit, something that makes you feel happy and excited and joyful. And what I want you to do this month is start to write down a list. You can write it on paper, you can write it on your phone, you've got options. And write that list down of all of the things that really make you feel happy. So what is it that you love to do? What is it that makes you laugh, smile, and just be happy? Is it going for a walk? Is it catching up with friends over a cup of tea? Is it watching a movie or going out to dinner or something? Like whatever it is that you find yourself being uplifted by, and start writing a list of those things. Because then what I want you to do is do at least one of them every single day. Bring that laughter into your life because, as that old adage goes, laughter is the best medicine. It raises your vibration. And on an energetic level, joy is one of the highest vibrations. And so the more joy we feel, the less negative energy and blocks and all that heavy stuff can stick to us. So the more joy we feel, the less of that stuff can stick to your aura. So make joy, laughter, and happiness a specific part of every single day, and notice how everything else starts to balance and everything else becomes easier. So this month, your homework from your angels is to find those things that bring you joy and do more of them every single day. Sagittarius, your message this month is world energy. Now, this card is interesting because when it comes up, it tells us that you might be feeling more sensitive than you usually feel. So notice your feelings this month and trust them, listen to them. It's another way that your intuition speaks to you. So pay attention to your feelings all throughout the month of August, because this tells me that you're going to be feeling things quite a bit more than usual. This card also says that you might be affected by big world events. Those things that are happening on a global scale might really affect you this month. And notice that when that happens and you do feel affected by it, rather than letting yourself slip into fear and worry and all of those stressful things, focus instead on prayer. Focus on sending positive, helpful energy and prayers to those situations to make a difference to them rather than allowing them to make you feel bad. The other thing that this message comes through with is that there might be more going on than meets the eye. So if you're facing a challenge or a situation this month and you can't quite understand what's going on, maybe things just don't feel right, or it's kind of like something's missing. If it feels like that, the angels say to take a few steps back. Take a few steps back to get a new perspective and look at that situation in a different way, because you're not getting the full picture. And sometimes we need to step back to see things more clearly. And so the angels want you to know that this month you might be feeling more sensitive. You might be picking up on those different vibrations around you. You might be affected by some things that you see in the media or on the news. And if that happens, rather than letting it get to you, take this as a chance to send positive energy, send healing, and send prayers. And then for yourself, if you notice any challenges that you can't quite figure out, you may not have the whole story. So take a few steps back, look at it differently, and allow your angels to guide you through that situation with grace and ease. Capricorn, your guidance this month is take time for yourself. Now, I know as a Capricorn, you probably just want to work all the time, but instead of doing that, the angels say that this month, through the month of August, please find time to relax, to rest, and to recharge. It's so important that we take those times to really nurture our soul and allow ourselves to relax peacefully. So often you might feel guilty about taking a moment for yourself or taking a bit of a break or just resting for a bit. But sometimes you need that so you can overcome the next hurdle or push through that next project that you're working on. So remember that this month is your opportunity to focus within. Sometimes you need that moment by yourself just to be present, to clear your energy, to meditate, to connect into your angels, to really get clear on the next steps in front of you. Take this month as a time to focus back on you. You may have been focusing on everybody else recently, but now is your chance to focus on you. Do the things that matter most to you and start to make more of a routine for yourself. So starting at the top of the day, what do? We get out of bed and then what? What happens next? And work through that schedule. Yeah, we've got our work tasks and those projects to tend to, but what are the things that you're putting into every single day for you? Remember to take care of yourself. And remember to take that time for yourself so that you can be re-energized and reinvigorated to not only complete the work, but to be of service to others. So please make sure we listen to our angels this month. We take that time for ourselves so that we can do the very best we can in every other aspect. We need to recharge sometimes so that we can then move forward in a much more peaceful and positive way. Aquarius, your guidance this month is patience. Now, I know none of us want to hear that, but the message is very powerful, and sometimes we need a little bit of that patience. So this month, your angels are saying to you to trust that things are happening at the divine timing. Trust that they're happening in the perfect moment. I know that you might want things to happen in a certain time frame. Maybe you want things to happen more quickly than they are right now. But rather than being frustrated or upset that things aren't moving in the way that you want them to, trust that your angels are taking care of everything. They are making all those tiny little adjustments so that when things happen, it's in the perfect way. And sometimes that stuff takes time, and we need to allow the universe to make those things happen in the perfect way. We don't want to rush it. We need to let it take its time. And so rather than feeling frustrated that things aren't going the way you want them to, trust in your angels and have that little bit of patience to trust that things are coming at the right timing. Maybe other things need to move out of the way, or other things need to happen first for the greatest possible opportunity to fall in front of you. So if things were too quick and too rushed, we might miss the bigger blessing that's in store. So your angels are telling you that, yeah, things might not be happening as quickly as you want, but trust that they are still happening. Trust that it's going at the perfect pace. And even though you might feel sometimes like it's just wheels spinning in the mud and that things aren't moving forward in the way that you'd like, know that things are changing. Think of that like when people have a baby or they get a new puppy. And when those people see them every single day, they don't notice the changes. But then you don't see them for 2 or 3 months and you go, oh my goodness, like look how much they've grown. Because you see the difference in between those moments, but they see it every single day and don't notice the tiny changes that are happening. So while you might not know that things are moving forward, trust that the angels have your back. Trust that they are looking after you and that tiny little things are taking place every single day. You just might not be aware of them right now. So this month, rest assured, you've not been forgotten about. The angels aren't ignoring you. Things just might take a little bit more time than you'd like. But trust that the angels are bringing you exactly what you need and you'll receive it at the perfect time. Pisces, your guidance for the month ahead is new idea. So this month, your angels want you to pay attention to the thoughts and the ideas that you have. Because they're not just random thoughts that are popping up in your mind. These are little bits of divine guidance to help you. So rather than throwing those ideas away, sit with them for a moment. Think about them longer. Think about them more seriously and notice how they start to evolve and develop. Sometimes that idea might involve other people and you need to reach out to a loving friend or family member to make that idea a little bit bigger. And as you do that, it might begin to grow and take on a life form of its own and turn into something that you didn't even realize to begin with. But the angels want you to know that those ideas, those moments of inspiration that come through, they're not just random thoughts. Listen to them this month and then share them with others. You deserve to take that time to work on those ideas and allow them to blossom. And as you do this, you find that those connections with others start to strengthen and grow as well. And wonderful opportunities are suddenly right in front of you that you may never have had the chance of before, all because you listened to that idea. So listen to these wonderful ideas this month, trust in them, and allow your angels to guide the perfect people into your life to develop those ideas more strongly. Maybe it's also thoughts that come through of a different approach. Maybe it's with your own health or the health and care of a loved one. And that idea comes through that says, what if we tried this instead? Or maybe we need a different approach and let's look at this option. Doing things like that can make a big difference. So listen to your intuition, trust in your guidance, speak it out with other people and see what they have to say, and allow that idea to grow and notice the changes in front of you. And there are your angel scopes for the month of August. So I really do hope that these messages have resonated with you and we were able to go a little more deeply than we have before. So please, if these messages resonated, if you felt a connection to them, please do let me know in the comments section down below because I love reading every single one of them. But until next time, I am sending you so much love, so much gratitude, and many, many angel blessings.